Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from. Oh, you know what? I should probably put on my private because Lauren Gontero is going to be joining us very soon. Let's see, where did she go? Where did she go? She just DMs me. All right. Lauren! We're on our Just the Chat series, which has been a lot of fun and doing really pretty phenomenal. Hi. What's going on, girl? So we are joining, we're doing a Just the Chat this week, and our Just the Chat this week is Lauren Gontero, Miss Las Vegas. She is the realtor kicking ass and taking names in Las Vegas. So hopefully she'll be joining very quickly. Let's see. Where's Lauren? Lauren. There she is. Oh, finally, Instagram thing where you can actually get a request going. Hello, everyone. Hello. So if you have any questions about real estate in Las Vegas or New York, this is the place to be while we are interviewing Miss Lovely Lauren, which I guess she's going to be coming on very shortly if she's not chatting away on Clubhouse, which is where I met her. So if you guys are not on Clubhouse, send me a DM down below and we can try to get you involved in Clubhouse. We'll send you an invite. So Clubhouse is a great place for networking and finding other women and other men and other business professionals, just a bunch of realtors, bunch of business owners, entrepreneurs, nobody like too crazy, like, when Kanye West was on the other day, or, Grant Cardone, or any of the fantastic, fabulous lists of people. You got 5, Social Media Advertising Corp just said, I got 5 invites to give. Yes, you do, girl. Oh no, why isn't Lauren able to join? What happened? Hold on, let's do this again. Lauren. Let's see. So, hi, KW. Hi, everybody. So, in our Just the Chat series, we are featuring other realtors and business owners from around the country. I'm very excited because we do have big deal coming up. So, stay tuned at the end of this Just the Chat so you can find out who will be here next week. Hey, Hannah. Okay, I will send you a invite to Clubhouse, definitely. And we have somebody that's going to be breaking a glass ceiling. So if you know him, if you love him, you've probably seen him on a ton of really fun real estate videos. So that's your little teaser for now. But soon Lauren will be joining us, hopefully. She was just there. Where did she go? This is like the fun technical difficulties. So if you guys wouldn't mind, throw some questions in the chat feature, so that way we can discuss things with Lauren in Las Vegas. So I have to go back to the room. But tell Lauren, tell Lauren to come to Instagram so we can get it going. All right. So let's see what else. In the meantime, let's talk about selling real estate in the wintertime in New York. So over here, I've been working with my fantabulous real estate videographer, Rennis, from Renny Vision, and he is been filming me talk about just different selling tips for selling real estate in the wintertime in New York. So yes, is there a lot of people leaving New York? Yes, but they're also going to other parts of New York. So New York is still here. We're still living. We're still alive. We're still kicking butts and taking names. And hold on. Yeah, so anyway, some of the fun real estate tips that you'll see on a short form video, but are not on short form video yet, are just the simple fact that you can do a real estate revamp on your property, making it ready for sale in the wintertime by doing a few of these things. Changing your doorknobs, your cabinet knobs in your kitchen. Hey, Kristen, gives you a real quick facelift in the kitchen. So kitchen cabinets and kitchen faucets. Doing those 2 upgrades is definitely something that is a weekend warrior thing. You don't need a whole, 4 or 5 day project to do those upgrades. Light fixture upgrades are also really important. So there's a lot of realtors watching. So let me get a double tap heart if you agree with the importance of light fixtures. Light fixtures really make a big difference when selling a property, especially a dated property. Something that's a little bit older will look much older if it's got an old style light fixture. Spend $100, $200, go to Wayfair, hit up my buddy Rashad Kennedy. He is my fantabulous Wayfair rep. Oh my God, you heard that? He's my fantabulous Wayfair rep, and he will help you get that whole thing sorted out. So we've got knobs and faucets, light fixtures. What else? Make sure that the entranceway to your house is clean and accessible. Just selling in the winter doesn't mean that you can, you have to just not anticipate people coming in. If people are coming in to look at your property and it's snowy outside, then 9 times out of 10, those people are hella serious. Hey, Lauren. Okay, you're here. Let's see. Can we go live? Lauren. So if people are coming out to see your stuff in the wintertime, they are hella serious. So I don't think that, there she is.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Let me hear it's up all the way.
So,
all right, there
fantastic. We go. I'm so glad that I have you. Thanks for being here, my Clubhouse friend. My Clubhouse little inspiration. You are like one of the many female realtors in Clubhouse that's just kind of super duper awesome, and just, you're really great about sharing information. So why don't you give us a little bit of info about who you are, where you're from?
My name is Lauren Gontero. I'm a realtor in Las Vegas. I have a team that I run out here, and I also have a mentorship program that I absolutely am in love with, because I help younger or newer realtors actually get their business plan together and get rolling on a tight ship, basically, so that they start producing as soon as possible.
What do you think is the most pivotal mistake older realtors have made that if they were new in real estate, they wish they could have done over?
Oh, there's so many things that, and that has actually been a hot topic lately. Like, what would you do if you had to start over? Like, what would you do differently? And a lot of people say, I wouldn't have spent as much money on certain marketing tactics that they went with, or they wouldn't have spent as much time doing things like, I don't know, they just spend a lot of time doing things that didn't produce for them. So, or they didn't spend enough time doing things that they should have continuously been doing in order to produce in their career. Because consistency is key in this business, and if you're not consistent, then you miss opportunities. So if you start farming, keep doing it. Farming takes time. Farming takes 6 to 12 months to actually start producing. And if you don't stick with it, you don't end up seeing the results.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think we're so conditioned to look for instantaneous results to validate what we're doing and the effort that we're putting in. And this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and I think really a lot of times, I know for myself, I'll look around and I'm like, oh, this person's been in the business 3 years and they're killing it. Good for them. But I know for myself, I made not mistakes, but there's things that I wish I did from the onset, but I didn't know. So
what are
those things? So I did not nurture my client base as much as I should. I'm a lower price point, so I'm very high volume. So I was kind of like Tasmanian devil styling it, running through, listen and sell it, and moving on to the next one. And I wasn't staying in touch the way I wanted to. Or the way I think would have been better for me, which is people, you love me or you hate me. There's really no middle ground, and I'm okay with that. So the people that love me are my cheerleaders, and I should have made sure to once a month be whose birthday is coming up, or who's got a thing going on. So that's something I wish I did from early on, but it's something I've been implementing for the last 5 or 6 years now. I wish I did it from the beginning, but I didn't. So
one of the things that I really wish I did from the beginning is have a lot more fun with it. I feel like I was so work focused and so strict with my schedule, that I really cut out all of the fun and making those relationships that were going to lead the business anyways. So I was like, okay, I'm going to wake up at 5. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I really had like no human contact the whole time other than calling the leads that I had coming in. So when I first started, I came from a marketing background, and I just produced mass amounts of leads, and I was just calling all day. And they're not the best leads. They're from Facebook. So, they didn't really produce as much. And not to mention, I didn't even know how to sell a house. I didn't have a mentor. I learned everything I knew from YouTube. So I ended up just building out like kind of a little referral team in the very beginning of my career, which translated to now having an actual team. But I would hand out these leads to people and then just be like, can I watch you do the deal from start to finish? So, I think that I should have focused on really tapping into some different spheres out here, getting new friends, because I completely changed my life when I started real estate. So now that I know what I'm doing and I have those relationships and have that circle of people around me, it's a lot easier and better to have fun with it, because this is really a fun job. I mean, we get to be social, we get to make new friends, we get to help people. It's something that I really love, and it keeps me interested every day.
So on Clubhouse, we go into these rooms and sometimes we listen, sometimes we participate. And one of the things that made me reach out to you is I checked out your Instagram page and I scrolled through it, and there's one video that you have up where you are literally I don't know what the right term is, but it's like the holiday season in Las Vegas, and there's Lauren decorations all over people's yards. And I'm like,
I know which one that is.
Yeah. Because I'm a goof too. I feel like you've got to be silly, because a lot of people don't realize there's some serious emotional burnout that comes with this, the highs and lows of this. Yes, that one. I love that one. It's
and
so
then
good.
It's me. It's actually in Winter Garden, Florida. I went there for my birthday and Christmas, and it is in Orlando. So I went there, and
so you weren't in Vegas?
Everybody works at Disney, so everybody's yard was amazingly decorated, and I was like, let's do a funny video. I want to get in. I want to be part of all of these decorations. So I like running, and every time I would go on a run in the morning, I would run past all these decorations, and I just started hopping in them, and my friend was videotaping me, and then he made a little commentary to it. So definitely, if you're watching this, check it out. It's hilarious. I wish I could make it into a reel, but it's too long.
If you're following now, click Lauren, give her a follow, and just you're gonna get lots of actual quality information about real estate in there. But you're also gonna see some funny videos. When I watched that video, I was like, yeah, I do those kind of sporadic, spontaneous things where I'm like, yeah, I'm going in their yard, and I just wanted to know if I had to put money on it, my question was going to be, did you know anybody? Because I felt like you were also kind of looking, do it quick, they're going to come out. So
I didn't know anybody, and one of the ladies was actually across the street, looking at the lake, and I got in her front yard, and she was just staring at me really weird. And then it was the one with the teddy bear where they were going, I was going like this, and I had to jump a fence to get in with the teddy bear, and she kind of looked at me like she wasn't too happy about it, but I just struck up a conversation with her. I was like,
girl,
and then she was fine with it. She was laughing. She had a mask on and stuff, though, so I felt bad. I didn't touch her teddy bear.
Yeah, I didn't. My favorite bit of it was just the fact that you made no eye contact. It just made it so Stepford wifey. It was great. So
and then I ran around in the back and went back over to the other side. It was fun.
That's amazing.
Definitely a fun time. Did you see the one of me with a mustache on? I drew a mustache on my face.
Yes, again. So I'm gonna throw it out there. I have been, I've done some creative videos where I did a walk video that I got in trouble for. My office wasn't thrilled about it, but it was wealthy ass properties, not the other acronym. So I thought it was really fun.
I don't know what it means.
They weren't thrilled with it, but I thought it was funny. And, that's the thing. Like, at the moment, you kind of just want to run with it. I feel like there's so much pressure to be the what's viral and how do we keep up. And, like, for me, like, I make fun of myself a lot. I don't know. I feel like your mustache one where you're having this whole conversation with clearly yourself with a backwards cap and a mustache. You just got to kind of make fun of it. I was talking to Victoria, who was my first Jess to chat, and she's got the Female Collaborative. So shout out to that. And I was telling her, like, I've always wanted to do like one of those photo shoots where like I'm like in like an over the top dress, but I'm like on like a beat Honda Accord. That's maybe like real hoop. Because you see all these girls, they're like on like Lamborghinis and like it's like, that's not me. But
no.
Okay, yeah. So like
that would be really funny. You should do it.
I really think I should. Right?
I think you should.
I think it's fun. We did like do you follow influencers in the wild by any chance?
No. Is it funny?
Okay, so you're welcome ahead of time. So when you when you get a chance, follow influencers in the wild, because it's videos or like pictures of people doing stuff for the gram, but it's not the people doing it. It's like someone across the street. So like we did something in our office when we got the sign installed, because we moved to a new location, and it was like 4 degrees outside. It was windy, and I'm like holding balloons and eating a cake, like a cake smash, and like. One of the agents in my office is like, do you know how funny this would be if this showed up on Influencers in the Wild? I'm like, yeah, I do. You should go over there and videotape this stuff from across the street. So
you're like, I wish I would. It would be great exposure. I see they have 4 million followers.
So we got a question from Hannah, who's a new realtor. She said, which lead agencies do you both like using? So Hannah, are you referring to like Zillow or like, because Zillow stinks, or what are you referring to? Well, what do you want to answer that? How do you want to answer that, Lauren? What do you do for lead gen?
I'm trying to, okay, there we go. So I don't like paying for leads. I actually produce my own leads through Facebook. I feel like it's kind of a waste of money to pay for leads. But if I had to pick any lead service, I would either pay for Google local service ads, which is recently open to realtors. People are just cleaning up on that. Or Clever Leads, which is spelled Cleverleads. I actually have a note right here to call them because I know that they're a great lead source. They actually go through and they find likely sellers in your area, and they do local ads based on where their cell phones are. So it's like super high tech and super targeted.
Oh,
worth the money.
Awesome. Yeah. Everybody jot that down, please.
Yeah.
Yes. So Clever Leads. That's awesome. That's great. That's a nugget of information. How did you stumble across Clubhouse?
Oh man, I was at my friend's house and we were talking about this company that we work on called Simplest. I'm also development partner in a CRM. So we were just talking and I heard him like have something on his phone and they said something that I like totally agree with. And I yelled, yeah, that's awesome. Like from the other room, he was like, shh, I don't know if they can hear me. And I was like, what are you talking about? What is that? He's like, it's Clubhouse, but I don't know if they can hear me. I don't know. Like we were both like baffled by what this was. And he had no invites left. This was, December 30th.
Oh, you're oddly specific.
Yeah, well, I know because it's at the bottom of my profile on Clubhouse. So that was the day I signed up, and I feel like I was on the platform right before it blew up, and I got to know everybody really well, and have built a community in there around me that's pretty much all realtors, but it's really growing really fast, and I really love Clubhouse.
Yeah, realtors end up referring other realtors. So, I mean, a lot of people, I'm not going to say there's an exodus from New York, but there's a lot of people moving around. And, you know, Clubhouse has been a great opportunity for me to be like, I know somebody there, you know, and actually know them. Because I feel like there's that gimmicky line that realtors, oh, I've got a friend over there. No, but like you actually know people from different areas and you get to really know them. And it's like the content of their character and what kind of quality information they have to bring to the Clubhouse audio drop-in. If you don't know what it is, Clubhouse is like a networking thing for just business professionals and all kinds of people. But it's really great.
I've actually worked like 6 or 7 referrals now from Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So just in the past month and a half.
So what's it like
really
what's it like in the Vegas market? Is there a lot of buyers? Is it getting hot over there more than ever?
It's insane. It's so hard to find a house. Inventory is so low. It's extremely low out here. I think we're at like 3 weeks of supply right now. So we're down to days. I have seen more and more listings coming up. I have 3 coming up right now. So, you know, it's kind of warming up just because we're really getting over the COVID thing. And we just got new guidelines that we're going to be pretty much completely open by May 1st. But the only thing that's shut down are the adult entertainment bars, which they're not, you can still go, karaoke, and brothels. So those are the 3 things that are shut down. The strip clubs are still open, but you know, they you just can't get dances. And that's it. They're like bars right now. But everything else, we're supposed to be at 35% capacity, but they do it 35% capacity of the fire marshal limit. So basically, if you can pack, like if your restaurant can really only seat like 100 people, but you can actually have like up to 300 people in there, you're seating all the tables. So casinos have the plexiglass in between each station or when you're sitting down gambling or at the bar, but everything's pretty much open. Our gyms have been open for a long time. You know, I think we're over it. We're pretty much over it. We're like Florida.
Yeah. You know what? I think as much as New York maybe, you know, perceived to be like a liberal state, we're all pretty much over it as well. No matter if you're left or right, you could be red or blue, however you vote, we're all also over it. So we're trying to get creative ways. Our restaurants just opened back up. So, we have a question. Hey, Lauren, can you give an example of Facebook marketing organically?
Yes. So my favorite organic leads come from Facebook moms groups. So make sure to join those moms groups, get involved, answer some questions, add value to the community, do a little fundraiser where you give school supplies to people who can't afford it, you know, things like that. You'll really find that the community comes together, and those moms groups are really tight. I don't have any kids and I'm in them, and I go to the events, and they have my photographer is who I found in that moms group, and she does once a month, she does a little get together with all the moms that have small businesses. And so I go to those, and I mean, it's really fun. The last one we did was Galentine's Day. And, you know, we played bingo, and we went around the room and we introduced all of our small businesses. And, you know, of course there's other realtors there, but everybody has their people that they use, and they're always looking to meet new people. So you just never know when those opportunities might come up. But like I said in the beginning, it's more about making those relationships than anything else. So, and that is one way to really get those relationships going and getting involved in the community.
Yeah, I think I heard like somebody say yesterday in one, like I was driving into the office, and it was pretty much about how instead of trying to focus on the numbers, she focused on nurturing the hell out of her clients and her sphere, because those people are just warm referral sources. So you're going to get warm leads from people that know you and dealt with you. And instead of focusing on the numbers in general, focus on the people that already you have in your life and really build the hell out of those relationships and remind people. And I was like, yeah, I got to do that more, because, you know, there's this thinking where you're like, everyone knows Jessica knows you, I'm the realtor. And it's like, yeah, but you know, sometimes they think you're only in one area, not realizing you service a broader area. So it's just always like kind of servicing, or not servicing, but like nurturing your warm leads and your existing relationships that I think a lot of people
And
forget.
really get to know your client. Like if you go through the transaction and you realize that this client isn't a very social person, doesn't have a really large sphere or anything, it's obviously still important to nurture the hell out of them. But I have another client that just closed last month, and you know, they're remodeling the house that they bought, but they have a huge network. Like, they're involved in softball, they're constantly going out with their friends, they're constantly talking to their friends, they're constantly like, were introducing me the whole time during the transaction, and I'm like, I like these people, they're fun, we jived. The transaction was probably one of the most fun. And you know, after you end a transaction, you're like, where'd my friend go? Like, I talk to them every day, and now all of a sudden it's just dies. But I was like, you know what, I really want to host and let me know what you think about this, I really want to host a housewarming party for them, where I get the catering, and then I get to meet everybody. So I think that that's what we're going to do.
Smart.
They're moving in sometime next week, but maybe, have you ever done that?
So I've done like mixer events, and I've also done things where I've gone back to their house after they've renovated or whatever, because I am very much one of those agents that like, I'll walk around with the buyer and be like, no, this is not it. Like, I'm like, as if I'm moving in. So like, you know, I've had like in the last 5 years, 2 or 3 times where people are like, we miss going out on the weekends with you. And I'm like, I know, but you really got to make a decision. We're at 100 houses now. We've seen a lot. We can hang out and not do this. So, but yeah, like that's a great idea. I think, like, you know, it's weird because everyone's comfort level, especially around here, is very different. So some people are like very like, how many people are going to be at your office, or how many people? So I've done like some, we're doing like a seller's Zoom where you can come in if you're thinking about selling in 2021 and ask questions and all that kind of stuff. But it's weird knowing what's socially acceptable in a post-COVID. Me, I don't care. I'm like, come on over. I already have. But you know,
I'll go to like shake somebody's hand. I'll be like, is it okay if I shake your hand? Do you prefer I wear a mask? I always ask that, just to be polite. You never know if they have somebody that they're trying to protect at home that's elder or whatnot. So I think that asking is how I've gotten around that, but it's scary.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. It's like, you know, even it's not only the person in front of you, it's where the person's going home to, who lives with the person. And so, you know, you don't know what's a okay way to approach things. Because like I said, for me, I'm very much like, yeah, let's just get together and like hang out. And, you know, you don't know what is going to put people in a strange situation. But I do have a question I would like to ask you. So I see that you have done quite a bit with Toll Brothers and new construction. So I've also seen some of your fun videos on why it's important to have an agent when buying new construction. So we don't have a whole hell of a lot of new construction in New York. So why don't you give us a general walkthrough of why we should have a realtor? I mean, I know why, but tell us why we should have a realtor for new construction, and what are the things that is like the biggest mistake people make when they buy new construction without a realtor?
So so the biggest mistake that people make when they buy new construction without a realtor is not getting an inspection. The builders do not tell you to get an inspection. They don't say get a home inspection. They don't say, you know, go ahead and check our work. They don't even really let you know that it's a possibility that you can do it. So, you know, and I constantly find things that need to be fixed in inspection and new builds. So, you know, like the hot water heater is in the last one that closed last week was completely leaking and not even like connected to the gas, and the gas was leaking and water was leaking out of it. That's a big issue. You know, and I always tell my buyers, especially new construction, get 2 inspections. Get one before the walls go up and one after the walls go up. So you really know what's going on inside. I've had another one where like the wiring and electrical from the water heater to the wall inside was connected with an extension cord. And I go, what? Absolutely not. Like, this is not standard. This is not, I don't even know if it's safe. I'm not an electrician, but it doesn't look right. Like, it looks janky. Things like that you'll never find unless you rip down the walls. So doing that inspection before you put the walls up and then after you put the wall, and then after the drywall goes up is crucial in the process.
I think you made like the biggest, hitting the nail on one of the most important points is like before the walls go up, even as the buyer, don't forget the inspection, but walk through and take pictures and videos so you know where things are. Because when the wall goes up, it's a guessing game, especially if you need a fish wire or tap electric. You need to walk through, know where the pipes are in the wall. It's so important to do like a video walkthrough and just save it on your phone for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, like definitely inspections. I never even thought about doing an inspection at that point, but that makes so much sense because that's going to let you know if everything's up to code and structure's done right, and if those those electrical wires or the pipes have that spray foam around them so they don't knock when the heat comes on and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a great tip. Do the inspection before the walls are up and before you close.
And after the drywall goes up. And another thing is using a realtor on a new build costs you nothing as a buyer. The builder is the one who pays, and there's no downside to having somebody who can intervene and actually get the builder to make some moves. And when you use somebody like me, I have relationships with the sales offices at pretty much every new build. So I can leverage my relationship to make things happen and get things done, where my client will call me and be like, I've been calling because there's this and that going on. And I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me? Like, they had like a big water tank that was, being used for construction. It was promised that it would be removed by the time they were closing. And, I didn't know that they had been requesting that it be removed, and it wasn't removed. And I was like, well, I'll just call up Ruth and say, I'll put up a stink for you. And they did. They moved it right away. And so having somebody in your corner that can really talk to them the way that they need to be talked to and leverage the relationships that I've built, do it, because it costs the buyer nothing. So that's another reason why using an agent on a new build can really benefit you. I know all of the incentives that are offered to buyers at all the offices. The builders don't always tell you about them. So, their interest is keeping the money in their pocket, and my interest is getting the buyer the best deal and keeping the most money in their pocket. So when it's like going to the listing agent of a house and trying to put in a fair offer, it's possible, but it's not easy. And when you really don't know the other side, I mean, when it costs the buyer nothing, it just makes no sense not to have somebody in your corner.
So do you have a lot of new construction going on? Has it slowed down? I know I was recently in Florida, and like a lot of the new construction is like people can't get their hands on windows or whatever. So what's going on with new construction in Vegas?
So new construction in Vegas is pretty much everywhere. And right now it's crucial to use a realtor to go in there because there are waiting lists that they're basically just turning them into lotteries because it's so hard to get a house. So when lots come up, your realtor either needs to be in contact with the sales office right away. They need to have those relationships that I have. I know before most other realtors when new lots are going to be released. So I get the little inside scoop, and then I can let my clients know, hey, we need to go a day before because I know that this is the day that the rest of the lots are coming out. And if we get on that list first, then we know we can go to see Amanda and she'll get us on the list before everyone else. So that's another thing that I do for my clients when we're looking at new builds. But there's waiting lists for all of them. It's so hard to find a resale right now that everybody's going new build. But
What do
another
you
thing
see?
you need to do,
No,
another
go
thing you
ahead.
need to do for new builds is, and that a lot of other realtors don't do, is pull comps on the area. You know, just because it's a new build, you know, you really can't negotiate the price. You're getting what you're getting, but you want to make sure you're not overpaying for that area. And if you're really significantly overpaying, it might be in your best interest to look elsewhere.
Right. And then as far as like the new builds go, somebody's coming in, they're totally like drinking the Kool-Aid, they're hyped, they want to be in this new development, and an appraisal comes in short. What happens?
In a new build?
Yeah.
I have never had that happen, so.
Never had a short appraisal?
Mm-mm.
Geez. Well, Vegas is popping then, because I mean, let me tell you.
No, not on a new build.
Oh, see
No.
here, like I know that we've had a few, again, there's not a whole bunch of new builds, but there's a lot of like rehab, like multiple units or whatever. But appraisal's been an issue in certain areas in Nassau and Brooklyn, where a lot of people have left Manhattan and gone to those outer areas. And they've driven up the prices so much that the bank appraisers come in. I mean, we do our appraisal packages ahead of time, but I was just wondering, in an area, because you had just mentioned sometimes you can get that lot, but it's really not what you could afford. Do you ever run into that problem? So Vegas, I guess, is not having a value problem at all.
Well, this year I've noticed for the past 3 months, you know, everything is going way over list price. And what is blowing me out of the water is that I, first of all, have had only one appraisal come in low.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have just dodged bullet after bullet after bullet this year or what, but I've had one come in low. I mean, every single one has come in at value, no repairs needed. So, I don't know if I've just been getting lucky, but last year I had a bunch of appraisals come in low, like mid February last year in March, right before COVID. I had a couple appraisals come in low, but ever since COVID, I've not had any come in low. Pretty much right around where the price is, and we've never had any problems renegotiating. But I did get a phone call the other day from a listing that I got under contract, and they said that, so my appraisal came in at value and it went for $10,000 over list price. And their house was next door, and they said their appraisal came in 50,000 under. So I don't know it's just the luck of the draw, really. And that's why I say I think I've just dodged some bullets with appraisal. But as far as appraisal on new builds, I've never had a problem, and I've never heard of anybody having a problem. I think I've only used outside financing on new builds a couple times just because the incentives for the builders are so good. You get pretty much your entire down payment and closing costs covered if you use me with new builds. So.
Got it. So where do you feel like you're seeing the most migration from? What state are you seeing a lot of people like transplanting to Vegas from?
California. It's been that way for about 3 years now. I remember the reports coming out in 2018, and I was reading them over, and it said that 32% of all of our driver's license surrenders were from California. So that was back in 2018, and now with everybody leaving there, it's even higher, I'm sure. Let's say about 40-50% are now from California.
So as far as Vegas goes, is Vegas just like how people call New York City? Is there like hot neighborhoods surrounding Vegas that really people are moving to, or are people moving to Vegas proper?
So Vegas is basically like an island, and there's really only Vegas, and then Henderson is its own city. Summerlin is mistaken for its own city, but it's really just a master plan community. But the only other really surrounding city is Pahrump, and I have had like 3 sales out there in the past 2 years. It's not many people move out there. So, Yeah, it's basically like an island. Like we have mountains to the west, we have mountains to the east, we have nuclear fallout to the north. Can really only build south. So that's what's really driving prices up. We just don't have houses for enough people that want to live here. I moved here 9 years ago, and we didn't even have 1 million people yet. And the reason why I know that is, and I wasn't even a realtor yet, is because I really wanted an IKEA when I first moved here, and I was like, why don't we have an IKEA? And apparently they wanted to wait until we had 1 million people in order to build an IKEA.
Is that the threshold for building IKEAs?
They what?
Is that the threshold for building IKEAs?
I guess they wanted the city to be big enough to, have enough people to make the business that they want. So we got our IKEA, and I'm pretty sure that I now live on a street that wasn't even built yet. Like it was just plain desert when I first moved out here. So we're like, if you do the time lapse of Vegas growing, it's crazy. It's awesome. Like
what is your favorite part? What's your favorite part to show like transplants? Like what is like that thing where people, if they're not sure, you're like, let me show you this about Vegas that everyone doesn't know.
So a lot of people don't know that we have snowboarding and skiing that's only like 50 minutes away. So Mount Charleston is one of my favorite places to go in the summertime also. So right where there's skiing and snowboarding in the winter, it's like 45, 50 minutes away from Summerlin. We also have amazing weather all summer long. It's like 75 degrees. It's like San Diego weather all summer long. When it's like 100 down here, you go up there, you go hiking, and it's gorgeous. You get a vast view of the city. It's really, really amazing. There's that, and then there's Red Rock, which is a national park that's just also very, very beautiful, and I love going hiking there. We also have Lake Mead, so we have water skiing and boating that's also only 45 minutes away. And then, I love downtown Summerlin. I love going to the restaurants there. It's just that all the off the strip things are my thing. But I go to the strip a lot too. So
okay,
it's very diverse.
You think it's diverse. Do you get like a lot of food, like foodie spots and stuff? I know you like shouted out a couple really cutesy restaurants and like the Flight of the Coast or something. I was like, that's cute. So tell us a little bit about.
We have a lot of those. I actually made, I don't know if you know what Instagram guides are, but I made a guide. So if you go to my Instagram and click on like the little book, I think it's next to the TV. We have all these just really cute little cafes that I actually frequent a lot, and I do all of my meetings there. So there's Cafe Lola, there's Gabi Bakery, there's I don't know, there's a bunch of different ones. Sorry, my dog's about to bark. My doorbell just rang. Chewy, come here. Come here. Come here.
Put him on. What's your dog's name?
Come here.
Hey, Alex. Ah, little puppy. What's his name?
He's 13 years old, so his tongue hangs out. But his name's Chewy.
Aww. Okay, so you are super well versed in Vegas real estate. You are definitely a social media powerhouse, and you're super generous when it comes to giving education and just supporting the realtor community. Where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years, and what would success look like for you 10 years from now?
I honestly see myself in 5 or 10 years doing something with Bitcoin and real estate, however that transpires. I've been in Bitcoin since its infancy. When you could watch an ad, a video ad, they're called Bitcoin faucets, and you could watch a video and you got like a whole Bitcoin. So I really am a believer in cryptocurrency, and it really fascinates me. I don't know if you saw my story the other day, but I'm looking for a realtor who has experience in that, because I really want to do an interview with them and pick their brain and educate my audience about that. So That's something that I really see myself getting involved in. I'm starting to get involved in St. Jude charity. I actually have an event this weekend. It's called Suit Up for St. Jude. I should be getting my my link soon if anybody on here can maybe
Absolutely.
and help me raise some money for that charity.
Yeah.
I've been invited to a lot of speaking events lately. So I'm going to be on a panel in May talking about real estate marketing. I just see myself, guiding other people and helping them in their career. And I just really like helping other people. So I see myself expanding my mentorship program and maybe diving into some bigger commercial investments myself.
So let's circle back, because I know that when COVID happened, every realtor in my office became a day trader, especially the last 2 months, more so than ever. So along with everyone logged into the MLS, I'm seeing like just charts all over the place, and random grunts from people on my team. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, lots dipped. And I'm like, what? Like, they're just making, like, sending out little things. So when it comes to the whole thing with Doggy or Dogecoin, first of all, weigh in. What is it? What's the right way to call it? Is it Doggy or Doge?
I call it Dogecoin. I mean, I'm not even right on that one. There's no D. So.
Yeah, all right, Dogecoin. So tell me, because
Dogecoin.
Yeah, all right, well, we'll stick with Dogecoin. It's fine. So what do you think? What's your take on the whole thing that happened with Elon Musk and, to the moon?
I mean, they're pump and dumps. They're pump and dumps. If you can ride them up, if you can do the technical analysis and catch the wave up, do it. Why not? Make some money. But you got to think back to what is the actual value and what problem is this cryptocurrency coin solving, other than the owners or creators. I feel like all of the altcoins are mostly created maybe with good intentions in mind, but the owners are essentially taking your Bitcoin and giving you this coin that where can you spend it? What does it do? What problem does it really solve? I mean, it's a scheme to get your Bitcoin. But if you can use that and ride the pump and dump, I mean, I don't know. I don't encourage it. It's pretty risky, but if you want to just have technical analysis as your career, you can do that with stocks or the cryptocurrency market.
So you're a Bitcoin girl through and through. Nothing else. No Ethereum. No, just Bitcoin.
I have some either. I was actually in Ripple, and I heard that Coinbase wasn't going to be being able to trade it on Coinbase anymore. So I just traded it for some Ether right before the run, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But it really reminds me of Litecoin. So Litecoin was the first altcoin back in the day. There were two coins. It was Litecoin and Bitcoin. And Litecoin followed the trajectory of Bitcoin pretty closely. And then they kind of they split off, and one just went to the moon, which is Bitcoin, and Litecoin kind of stayed down there. It's like, what's the point of it? I think it was kind of created to have a faster transaction time and everything, which I was talking in a room today on Clubhouse about how Bitcoin, one of the problems about it that makes it not a real currency is that the transaction verification time is not instantaneous, because it has to be checked on the blockchain by a certain amount of servers, from my basic understanding. So it's more of a store of value than anything else.
So when I think about regular real estate transactions now, I mean, they're not instantaneous. So if somebody was to, like, when you get your clear to close, it takes in New York, it takes 10 days to close after that, 2 weeks. So what kind of turnaround is there, if in verification of Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, it takes a few minutes. It can take, it can take a long time. I remember back in the day when I would be like, why isn't it in this other account yet? Like, where'd it go? It's just lost in the matrix. But you know, I see it transitioning to real estate in this sense. So the blockchain is something that's so valuable. It's a list of all the owners from start to finish. And basically it's like at our recorder's office. You can go and see who's owned the house from start to finish. But that whole process takes a title company and this company and that company. And if you can imagine this blockchain, which is a ledger of all the owners in the past, and you can just transfer it instantly, I mean, I think that it's the end of title companies, really. Other than the short, you know, period you need for escrow and stuff like that. So I really see it transitioning to a lot of different things. I mean, even car ownership, jewelry ownership, you know, when you have a really high-end meat and you want to know where the meat came from, you know, like those restaurants you can go to out here, you can actually see where it was raised, which blades of grass.
This is Johnny. He was great at his farm and loved butterflies, and now you're eating him. Enjoy the tomahawks.
Yeah, exactly. So I see the blockchain used in so many different things, and especially with our world transitioning to everything digital, I just, you know, I see it being an important part of real estate in the future. I see Bitcoin as maybe even a different store of value. I mean, you talk to anybody who's wealthy, where are they parking their money? They're parking their money in real estate. And why? Because it's protection against inflation. It's a great store of value. Values have always gone up. Well, look at Bitcoin. It's a store of value. It's always gone up. It's secure. It's maybe the next way that people park their money instead of real estate.
So 10 years from now, somebody they drop $100,000 in your pocket. Are you buying 2 Bitcoin, or are you buying a property?
How many years from now are they giving me that money?
It happens now. 10 years from now, you're recouping. Are you putting your money on Bitcoin or the return of, more so than real estate?
Well, real estate, doubles every 10 years? Is that what they say?
And then you get your return on your rental income and stuff like that.
Yes, but you have maintenance costs, you have property taxes, you have tons of things. If I just put it in Bitcoin, not saying that anybody should buy Bitcoin instead of houses right now, but move to Vegas.
So let me ask you something. Everybody has, like every realtor from every neck of the woods has like a thing that sucks about real estate in their neck of the woods that's unique to their process. What is like the stinkiest part that you wish they would just get with it in Vegas when you're trying to do a transaction? What always holds it up? Or what's always the longest part or the most inefficient part of the transaction?
See, I really have done enough transactions to weed out all the people that actually hold up a transaction. So I have built this network of amazing people around me that I don't have any hiccups anymore. You know, I went through that in the beginning of my career. So I really believe that it's the realtor you choose and the people that those realtors choose to work with. When I have somebody that comes to me from a different lender, you know, I really talk to them about, why did you choose this person? And, you know, I call them and I try to get a feel for them, because I want my clients to use who they want to use. They don't have to use my lender, but I can tell you that my lender will answer my phone calls at midnight. I can tell you that my lender will bend over backwards.
Bring us to church, Lauren. Bring us to church. Tell us about the importance of the team. Go ahead, girl.
I can open escrow on weekends. I can, you know, like things like that. That's where it really matters which realtor you use. And I just think it's so important to build out that awesome circle around you as a realtor and really have those connections. Like I had, I had a new build that we could not get, he could not get his inspector to get to him. So he was calling around for inspectors. He found one that he really liked, and he was really adamant about using that inspector. And here we are 4 days before closing, and my client wanted to handle it all. So I didn't, I let them do it if they want to. And he calls me 4 days before closing. He goes, Lauren, I know I really wanted to use my own inspector, but he absolutely never came through for me. And now we're closing in 4 days and I don't know what to do. And with the housing market right now, like, do you know how hard it is to get an inspector to jump out there in the next 2 days before your walk through? Well, I have an amazing inspector with Clear Home Inspections. His name's Jeremiah. And he was like, okay, I'm his number one. So he's like, I'll do it. I'll do whatever I can to get there, ask them how late I can be there, see if you can pull some strings so I can be there after hours. And since I had a relationship with the builder, I was able to pull some strings so that they could open the gates for him after hours. And my inspector went there at like 8:30 p.m. and was there till like 11 just for my client. So when I say it's crucial as a realtor to build out your network, it's also crucial in picking a realtor that has built out their network. Like I have.
Yeah. I mean, for us over here, like we have about 5 attorneys. We like to be on both sides of our deals. I don't know if you guys use attorneys in Vegas.
We don't.
But
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, you don't?
No, we don't have attorneys out here.
Well, we have attorneys out here, and like it's just another layer of ego and people that could get involved and maybe not get involved in the right way. And, we have attorneys, we have home inspectors, and I'm always trying to not push, but I'm always advocating for like the people we have, because I'm like, I've been doing this since 2001. If they've been sticking with me this long, I'm not like, soft spoken. Like if I'm saying they're good, it's because they will, like you said, answer my phone call at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever time. If I'm blowing up their phone, like, you've got to get on top of this. They can be on an island somewhere and they're stopping what they're doing, because the relationship, not only with the client, is valuable, but it's the established professional relationship that's paramount, because it's obviously it's everlasting and ongoing. So there's a different sense of accountability that comes from a preferred partner than from somebody that's just, hey, I met you, you seem nice. And I don't know, you guys have. Go ahead.
And as a realtor, you got to remember too that anybody you refer your client to is a reflection of you. I know when I refer my client to somebody and they drop the ball, my heart sinks because I feel like I dropped the ball. Like, oh my God, I recommended them. I feel like I need to apologize and correct the situation myself, and like all these things. And I just remember this last new build that my inspector jumped for me and went out there, and my client was like, wow, thank you so much for coming on such short notice. This is amazing of you. And the inspector literally went, don't thank me, thank your realtor for building the relationship that she did with me. And I'm like, oh, cool. And that's when I realized that's important.
Yeah, and like also, I don't know if you guys have this, like we're big fans of, we have 2 home inspectors that we really love. NPI, which is National Property Inspectors, but their home inspections come with a warranty. And if you have a leak 3 years from now in your roof is covered for 5 years under their warranty. And this and so I've had clients that have reached back out to me and they're like, oh, I had a small issue, and I'm like, oh, it's covered. They're like, what? Like, it's the best $700 or $600 you've ever spent, because it's pretty much like similar to like a house warranty, with the home inspector. And I feel like that's also something that kind of sets a standard. If you're that confident that you're able to ensure and set, like, listen, things happen. Their home inspectors are people too. They can't see through stuff. They don't have X-ray vision. But the fact that they're willing to put their money where their mouth is and just ensure their inspections is just like a game changer for so many of my clients. So I just, like, I know it's very important. Then I've got like, also, tell me if you agree with me on this one. Banks do not make the transaction. The loan officer or the mortgage broker directly is who is going to make or break the transaction. Agree or disagree?
Wait, what do you mean? Like, don't use a bank, use a mortgage or loan?
No. So like I have Chase, and I have like 3 loan officers from Chase that are on like a lot of my deals because they know
Uh-huh.
how I work, they know what I look into. And sometimes I get like questions, people like, oh, we heard Chase is tough, or we heard this mortgage company is difficult, or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You can get like a crappy realtor. It's not the
Oh,
firm, it's the person. So like, do you feel that?
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes, of course. I mean, what the standards for the government-backed loans are pretty much the same all around. Now, I don't prefer to use banks because they only use their one source of financing. When you go to a broker, a mortgage or loan broker, they check all different banks, and they may even have some private funding sources that they can pull from in order to get those loans done. But it totally is who you use. Because you can go to Loan Depot, which is a broker, and get somebody who's crappy and doesn't answer your phone calls and is never available via text, phone call, email, smoke signal, pigeon, bird, whatever. Like, you can't get a hold of them. And then there's somebody in that same company that is on the ball, answers their phone calls, has built a relationship with me, will bend over backwards for me, knows that more business is coming for me, so they'll do more for this one client. So yeah, I totally agree with you, and people shouldn't generalize around that. But I'm actually surprised that you built up relationships with people at the banks, because usually once they get off work, they're not available.
No, I have my people that I use, like, shout out to Justin Kesey and Chuck Lamb and Jang. Like, it could, like, I'm not even bullshitting you. Justin was like skiing and had his freaking headset, and he's like, I'm skiing. I'm like, great. When you get to the bottom, I need you to do me a favor and call back this client. And he's like, all right. Like, like, it's I have like a really fantastic run of loan people that I deal with. And then we have a bunch of awesome mortgage brokers out here, but I think I always hear like a lot of pushback for the banks, and I'm like, it's not the bank, it's the person.
Yeah.
Like, you're not selling real estate with my brokerage, you're selling it with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, Hannah's used Justin. Justin is amazing. He is amazing, Hannah. You're right.
I totally agree with you in that. And that's so funny that you say that he's skiing, because my Paul Hasna, the one that I work with all the time, he goes skiing all the time, and I can still get a hold of him. I'm like, aren't you skiing? He's like, well, actually yesterday he was like, actually, no, I'm like swimming with dolphins right now. What's up? I'm like, oh my God. He's at one of his work. He's at one of his work retreats, like, for his company. But he still get out of the water and call whoever, the listing agent that I just put an offer in on. So yeah, it's those relationships is what it comes down to. Because if you didn't have a relationship with them, you first of all wouldn't have their cell phone number, and they wouldn't do those types of things for you.
Yeah.
Especially if they're a bank.
And you know what? I think that's also really like self-evident up here with the attorneys, because attorneys do not give out their cell phone number. And I don't even call my attorneys to their office. I just call them directly on their cell phone. I'm like, and it's, text, you got 45 minutes, I need a call back, because it's part of the process up here. You need attorneys. And I know, like, that's pretty unique to New York. I don't know if you know of any areas. I know it's like in Miami on some of the higher end stuff you see legal representation, but I feel like we're like the only state that does that. So they don't do that in Vegas either.
I think, I mean, I can't even imagine adding another person to the transaction. There's so many people involved in a transaction that I can't imagine having to add an attorney. So do you get to pick them?
So like, the way it works is the seller picks an attorney and the buyer picks an attorney, and then the bank brings their attorney, and then you have the title company, and then you have like the transfer agent if it's in a building or a development, and then you have the 2 realtors, and then you have the buyer and the seller, and then the payoff bank, and then the regular bank. So it's like 10 people on like one transaction.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's so many people.
So Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, DC, Florida, Georgia, Kansas, Kentucky. They're all attorneys.
Florida, like, I know a lot of agents in Florida. So that must be Miami specific, because a lot of agents in Florida do not have attorneys on the deal. It's
Yeah, I know.
just,
My secondary market is Orlando, and they don't use attorneys.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Learn something new
Okay.
every day.
There you go. Thanks, Google.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, we'll start to wrap this up. But it's been amazing talking to you. It just kind of flew by. I can't believe it's been like over an hour.
An hour, I know, right? That's crazy. Are you gonna save this video?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you save it and then message it to me on WhatsApp?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I would like to post it too.
Yeah. So, what would you say is the one thing you want people to know about you that they think they know about you, but they don't?
Oh.
So people look at you and they're like, oh, Lauren is so this way, but you really feel like they don't know this other side of you. What's the side of you that you want people to know that they don't know?
I'm actually I'm pretty much an introvert. So I need
What?
I know, right? People are like, no, you're not. No way. I'm like, I really, really am. Like I can be really outgoing and really social, but if I don't get my recharge time where I'm just alone and doing my own thing, and actually quite frequently, like I take my mornings to myself. Like I wake up at 6 and like from 6 to 9, like I don't look at my phone. I go on a run. I have my me time, and then I can like decompress and get ready for the day. And if I don't have that, I'm just like, okay, like the whole day is really, really stressful for me. So I'm, I like my isolation time, and I like to be in nature a lot. So
So you're like a wannabe introvert.
I'm a wannabe extrovert.
No.
Yeah.
You're like, how about we like make you an AM introvert and a PM extrovert? Depends
Yeah,
on what time
that's pretty much that's pretty much the course that has taken over my life recently, for sure. Being more social and having those connections, and I love it. I do, but I really do need my alone time too. So it's good.
So besides being in nature and running, what's like your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate, sugar, cookies, donuts.
So you're a foodie person. I don't know if you can tell this about me, but I also like to eat now and then, like cheek.
I actually just went to Florida. I went to Florida with my friend, and we were just eating all of the desserts. I went to Miami this weekend, and we were crazy over desserts. Like we ate like 3 cakes a day. It was insane. And we came back and we're like, all right, no more dessert until Easter. And I think I already broke my promise.
Are you hunting, or you just decided that you overdid it in Florida?
No, it was just like taking over our life. We were like at the pool and like trying to drink alcohol, and we were like, why don't we have cake instead? Like it was stupid. So
alcohol.
Yeah. And so we said no more desserts until Easter.
Okay. So you have your St. Jude thing, so you'll make sure to send that over to me as soon as you get the link, and then we will post that up and also definitely be donating. So that's awesome. Thank you for being one of those realtor members of service, not just like my new Chanel bag. It's so pretty, and I'm going on a helicopter later at home. Like, thank you for being one of those kind of realtors, not the other kind. Because we all
it's called Suit Up for St. Jude. I do have a goal of $2,500, so every little bit counts. It is a cause that's very near and dear to me, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I was actually asked to join, and as one of the only realtors on the panel, I think there's one more. So we're doing a kickoff event.
What is it? Like, you're saying Suit Up for St. Jude?
Yeah, so it's going to be an event where me and some friends have pulled. We have an entire goal of $35,000, but each of us wants to raise $2,500. Suit Up for St. Jude, they have partnered with a company called Stitched out here. They're one of the big suit stores that's in Cosmopolitan, and our friends own it. So we're going to have an event there, and we're going to be giving away suits and a raffle and stuff like that, just to bring awareness to the cause. And yeah, that's what Suit Up for St. Jude means.
Awesome. Well, okay, definitely send that over to us. Our team will donate and help support that cause. We're also big realtors of service, not dropping out of planes. We actually, every February, we like to go and feed everybody at the Ronald McDonald House. So we do like a breakfast. We couldn't do it here, obviously, because of COVID, but we go, and not this year, but last year when we did it, there was over 100 people staying at the Ronald McDonald House. Ronald McDonald gives free accommodations to families who have kids that are getting long-term treatment for cancer, and they're out of state or out of country, so you can stay at the Ronald McDonald House for free. You get to you have access to everything, food, and all the food is actually donated. So we went and we made a big brunch for like 100 people, so it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so we like that. But awesome, so excited. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being awesome. And just in 4 seconds, you were like, yeah, it's cool, I'm doing it. So just shout out your social media stuff so people can follow you and reach out to you.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Lauren Gontero, Lauren Gontero, Gontero. You can go on there and check out my Linktree link in my bio for my Facebook and my business page. If you want to follow me and can relate to me and like my content, please just check it out. I have some funny things. I have some cool things. I have a lot of hiking things. I try to keep it not too much real estate, so you won't get bored.
Okay. Do you let me ask you this before we sign off. Do you mentor people out of state or just in the area?
So if you want my mentorship binder and you are a realtor, I do hand that out, as long as you're not in Las Vegas, because if you're in Las Vegas, I would love if you jumped on my mentorship program. If you are in Las Vegas, I have a great brokerage that I have vetted every single brokerage in Vegas, and we just blow it out of the park. So
shout it out. It's fine. I'm in New York. Shout it out.
Yeah, Winning Realty. I helped grow the brokerage from 6 agents. We now have 86, and about 50 of them are on my mentorship program. So awesome. We've grown so much over the past couple years, especially with my recruiting efforts. So let me know if you guys need help in the Las Vegas, anything about the Las Vegas market. I love talking real estate, so don't be scared to slide into my DMs for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. Make sure if you're out there watching us, you subscribe to the channel, YouTube, Jessica Moves You, Instagram. If you're here, you're already subscribed. So make sure you also subscribe to Lauren. Thank you so much for coming out here. And if you see either of us on Clubhouse, make sure you go in and hit our profiles up in there. But if you have any questions regarding real estate in Vegas or being a realtor, or actually like a lot of outdoor stuff, because that's what I learned about Lauren today. She's a nature person. Hit her up, Lauren Gontero. Thank you so much for thank you so much for being on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, cool.
See you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night or a good afternoon.
It's afternoon.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.